The message arrived simultaneously across 17 different star systems, broadcast on every frequency known to galactic civilization. It was simple, direct, and utterly terrifying in its implications. This is Admiral Kane of the Terran Defense Force. For the past 3 centuries, humanity has endured your condescension, your trade restrictions, and your casual dismissal of our species as primitive newcomers. We have played by your rules, accepted your limitations, and suffered your insults in silence. That ends today. On the bridge of the Galactic Council's flagship, Commander Vex stared at the transmission with growing unease. Humans had always been considered a minor species, barely worthy of acknowledgement. Their technology seemed crude, their military laughably small compared to the great powers of the galaxy. They had been granted membership in the Galactic Council only as a courtesy, their single vote meaningless among the hundreds cast by more established civilizations. "Sir," reported his communications officer, "we're receiving similar transmissions from every human colony world. They're all saying the same thing." Vex dismissed the concern with a wave of his hand. Typical human theatrics. What can one backwater species possibly do against the combined might of the galaxy? He would learn the answer soon enough. The first sign that something had changed came when the Corinth battle fleet, pride of the military coalition, simply vanished. 300 ships, gone without a trace while patrolling the outer rim. Search parties found only debris fields and the scattered remains of what had once been the most advanced warships in known space. Admiral Kane's face appeared on screens across the galaxy again, his expression calm, but his eyes carrying the weight of centuries of accumulated patience finally exhausted. "The Corinth fleet attempted to blockade human space," he announced. "They have been removed. This is your only warning." The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Species that had dominated the stars for millennia now found themselves facing an impossible reality. How had the humans, those primitive newcomers, managed to destroy an entire fleet without suffering a single casualty? Ambassador Thorne, the human representative, had always been quiet during council meetings. Now he stood before the assembled delegates with a presence that seemed to fill the chamber. "For 300 years, he began, his voice carrying across the vast hall, "you have treated humanity as children playing with toys. You restricted our access to advanced technology, limited our expansion, and spoke of us as if we were not present. You assumed that because we were new to the galactic stage, we were therefore inferior." He paused, letting his words sink in. Before continuing, "You were wrong. We have not been struggling to catch up to your level. We have been holding ourselves back to avoid frightening you." The revelation hit the assembled delegates like a physical blow. The humans had been restraining themselves. The species they had dismissed as technologically primitive had been deliberately limiting their own capabilities. "Every human ship you have encountered," Thorne continued, "every weapon system, every piece of technology we have shared with you represents perhaps 10% of our actual capabilities. We have been playing by your rules, using your standards, because we hope to find a place in your galactic community." High Counselor Zarn, leader of the most powerful military alliance in the galaxy, rose to his feet. "This is impossible. Our intelligence services have thoroughly analyzed human technology. Your capabilities are well documented." Thorne smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "Your intelligence services have analyzed exactly what we wanted them to analyze. Did you really think a species capable of faster-than-light travel would be incapable of basic deception?" As if summoned by his words, the chamber's displays activated, showing real-time images from across the galaxy. Human ships, unlike anything previously seen, emerged from what appeared to be empty space. They moved with impossible speed and precision, their sleek forms bristling with weapons that defied conventional understanding. "We call them shadow fleets," Thorne explained. They have been watching, waiting, protecting human interests while remaining invisible to your sensors. Every human world you thought defenseless has been under their protection. Every human ship you believed vulnerable has been escorted by vessels you could not detect. The demonstrations that followed were not acts of aggression, but careful displays of overwhelming technological superiority. Human ships appeared in orbit around major worlds, not to attack, but to prove their presence. Defense networks that had protected these worlds for centuries were systematically and temporarily disabled, then restored without causing any permanent damage. The message was clear. Humanity could have ended the dominance of the established powers at any time. They had chosen not to, hoping for acceptance and cooperation instead. We tried to integrate peacefully, Admiral Kane announced in his final transmission. We hoped that by showing restraint and respect, we could earn our place among you as equals. Instead, you treated us as subjects to be managed and controlled. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as human technology reshaped the balance of power in a matter of days. Trade routes that had enriched the major powers for millennia were suddenly under human protection. Worlds that had never seen human presence found themselves hosting new installations that appeared overnight. But perhaps most shocking of all was the restraint they continued to show. Despite their overwhelming advantage, the humans did not conquer or destroy. They simply refused to be dismissed any longer. Ambassador Thorne's final words to the Galactic Council would be remembered for generations. We are not your enemies, but we are no longer your children. We have held back long enough, played by your rules, and accepted your limitations. From this day forward, humanity will take its rightful place among the stars, not as supplicants begging for acceptance, but as equals demanding respect. The age of human deference had ended. The galaxy would never be the same.